I, Tantus Naravan Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome. It is time to continue my discussion on the Pathfinder role-playing game system. Where we left off, we've been talking about magic items, and I was talking about magic weapons. I just have a few more details about magic weapons to go over today, and then we're going to finish up today by talking about potions and rings. But let's start by finishing up those magic weapons. Now, there are times where your magic weapon has special abilities which activate upon a critical. Whether this is extra damage that specifically the special ability states comes into effect upon that critical, or some other kind of ability. This is not pertaining itself to the creature in question actually being vulnerable to criticals. What do I mean by this? Is that regardless if whatever I'm attacking would be immune to criticals or not, affected by it, immune to it, does not matter. I still confirm whether or not I would have theoretically criticaled, and should I have reached that success. Now, if it's immune to criticals, my normal weapon and damage attacks do nothing, but that special ability still activates. And that's why it's important still to check if your magic weapon has a special ability that activates on it. It doesn't matter if it's immune or not. Now, a magic weapon, it can be of any real size. It doesn't have to be a weapon built for a small or medium creature. Just like with armor, it can be in unusual shapes and sizes. Well, unusual sizes for weapons. They're already in their unusual shapes enough. The advantage of this is that the weapon itself then will have the price difference varying depending on its size. But the quality of it being masterwork, or the quality of it being magical, is unaffected by size change. These things keep the same standard price and are unaffected by size changes. That means a colossal, giant, huge magic sword will cost just about as much to make it magical as my human's sword would have cost to make magical. Exact same amount. Now, magic weapons, I did mention they specifically did glow. They oftentimes have light shedding from them. But there is also a percentage possibility that a magic weapon will be shaped or have designs carved into it that will hint upon its nature or some of its powers. Not only this can you make you realize it's magical by looking at it, sometimes it can also help you determine what its actual abilities are if you're trying to learn that. There is a good percentage chance, about a 40% chance that you'll have no kind of special qualities to it, and it's going to just look like a normal weapon, effectively. You're not going to be able to tell the difference without some kind of magical ability of your own to actually detect it. Now let's move on and start talking about potions. Technically speaking, we're talking about potions and oil, but potions at its most basic essence is some form of liquid which can take any kind of form or appearance that a character would imbibe in order to gain some kind of effect of a spell upon them. An oil is similar, except rather than being imbibed, basically drunk, you effectively apply it to something, and it has then its spell effect. Either of these, a potion or an oil, effectively mimics a spell casting of a spell of 3rd level or less, and the target is going to be either the person drinking it or applying it. The only spells that qualify to be made into potions are those that take 1 minute or less to cast and target 1 or more creatures. Its price is going to be equal to the spell level of whatever spell you're using, the caster level, whoever's creating it, times 50. And if it has any kind of special material components that are required for the spell, you have to add the cost of that into the potion. So if I have expensive material components for my 3rd level spell, that is factored into the total price of this. I'm actually adding that in. It's just not that normal formula. Now, the book provides a number of sample prices dependent on the various classes creating these potions. It will be effectively the minimum caster level for each of these spell levels. It's going to be assuming for these basic prices. There are different spells which can have different caster levels between different classes, so you're going to have to look to that when you're trying to figure out how much it's going to cost for this class to use this spell. It's not always going to be the same. Something that's a 2nd level spell for one class might be a 1st level spell for a different class. Have to remember that. You have to realize that and watch that. Now, potion, you're basically drinking it, and it's like you're having the spell within the potion cast upon you, the drinker. The only difference is that the brewer made any major decisions for said potion. So effectively, I am giving up my ability to make choices with this, but I'm casting it on myself. I am the target, the drinker, but I'm the caster. I'm effectively casting this, but the brewer's making the choices. It's similar for the oil, that the brewer of the oil made the choices, but the person applying it is actually the caster. In this case, you don't necessarily need to apply the oil to yourself, so in that way, you might not necessarily be the target, but you very well could be. So an oil and potion appears in small either glass or metal vials of about an ounce of liquid with a stopper in it. Effectively, if you're trying to attack this, it has an AC of 13, hit points of 1, hardness of 1, and a break DC of 12. Now, potions can be identified all the normal ways, except for one that is added in. A person may make a perception check of DC 15 plus the spell level by basically taking a little taste of the potion and identify what a potion it is using this method. Though unusual or rarer potions might have a higher base DC for the perception check, it's going to be up to your game master to determine the exact DC that it's going to be. And basically then you can just be, oh, it's a potion of healing I have right here. There you go, you figured it out. Now, potions at the simplest core are effectively you're drinking it. This is traditionally a standard action that you're going to take, that you're basically imbibing the potion, and it does provoke an attack of opportunity to do so. The person that you're invoking from, the attack of opportunity taker, they can choose to, of course, attack you, smack you, or they can actually choose to target the potion and try to destroy that. They can do this without having to worry about any kind of repercussions from you in the process of doing this. You're leaving that potion wide open to be attacked. It's also important to note that a potion requires no special skills in order to use it. Anyone can drink one or apply an oil, doesn't matter. There is only one special restriction I do want to mention. You cannot drink a potion if you are unable to drink any liquids, and you cannot apply an oil if you don't have the appendages to actually apply it. It's as simple as that. This means, unfortunately, that incorporeal creatures are automatically eliminated from this. They can't physically interact with a potion. Though everything else that may or may not use one, you have to look to see if it's got the hands or appendages to apply an oil or the mouth in order to imbibe the potion. If they don't have these, they can't do it. Now, it is also important to note that you as a player could also give an unconscious player a potion. Effectively, what you can do is, as a full round action, you can give another player that may be unconscious a potion. You're basically forcing it down their throat. This is a good way of healing an ally that might be down. You can also do the same for an oil, that use a full round action to apply an oil to another target, another player. Now let's move on and talk about magic rings. Now, magic rings bestows its wearer some kind of power. Traditionally, this means it's an ongoing ability that is effective, and it is in effect as soon as you put on the ring. Though there are times which rings itself have charges. This is a unique thing to that ring, and it will mention whether it has charges or not. Now, every ring that you wear, of course, grants you its magical abilities. You can wear 2 rings, one on each hand. As soon as you try to put on a 3rd ring, it does not function. You only max out at those 2. Now, magic rings themselves have no real weight, and though rare, they can be made from bone or glass, but most of the time they are made from some kind of metal, and especially some kind of precious metal like silver, gold, or platinum. A magic ring itself, should you attack it, has an AC of 13, 2 hit points, hardness of 10, and a break DC of 25 if you want to use overall strength. Now, rings are usually activated in usually one of 2 ways. The first way, of course, is some kind of command word. This is traditionally going to be a standard action which does not provoke an attack of opportunity, that you just be like, you say the word, the ring activates. The other way is there are rings that just are continuously active as soon as you wear them. With this type of ring, as soon as I put it on, I'm under the effects of said ring. I have to do nothing, the ring's effects are on me, there you go, I'm already gaining whatever bonus or special ability it would have, I'm under the effects of it. There are exceptions to this, but any kind of alternate activation or kind of action use in order to use a magic ring is going to be listed specifically under that ring's description, and you would look there to figure it out. Now, magic rings actually have a percentage chance, 1% chance, of being intelligent. They also have a 30% chance of having markings on them that hint at its magical nature, either in form or effectively like runes and information like that that can give you hints to that. There's also then a really good percentage chance that this magical ring is going to have nothing on it that's going to hint at the qualities of the magic item itself. That you're going to have to use some kind of detection magic or identification magic in order to actually identify the ring, and you're not going to get any hints from the ring itself. Now, should a magic ring be intelligent, then of course it's usually going to have its own set of special powers. I'll talk about those when I talk about intelligent items, and usually some kind of purpose it wishes to fulfill. A magic ring with charges can never be intelligent. Important to note that. If it's got charges, can't be intelligent. Any other magic ring can. So, that's it for today. I finished first talking about magic aren't weapons, talking about a little bit about criticaling with them, and the fact that if they have a critical effect, it happens even if the creature's immune to criticals, and just talking about unusually sized magic weapons. I then moved into talking about potions. Magical liquids that I can effectively drink down in order to have the effects of a spell enter into me, or a magical a magical oil which I can apply to myself or something else to have a similar effect. The fact that these spells are basically in vial forms that anyone can use. Anyone can either drink or smear it onto something in order to gain its effects. No special skills required. They're the most open-ended of all of these types of magic items. Effectively the closest to a spell with the closest to everyone using it. I went over all details about them. And then I started talking about magic rings. Special rings that when you wear on your finger, you either have to say a command word, or as soon as you put it on, magical effects come into play. Now granted, there are exceptions to this, but those are specifically under its own descriptions. And there are those that have charges. But magic rings give powerful effects as soon as you effectively wear it, and you're ready to use it. And there are the exceptions that some of them can be intelligent. An interesting little fact there. But in the next episode, I'm going to continue my discussion on magic items with rods, scrolls, and staffs. But if you have any questions, comments, anything you would say, anything think I left out, please leave in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's just for the channel, the Empire of the Work I Do. If you want to show some extra support, you can always check out my Patreon, link description below. Regardless, until the next time, I bid you farewell.